How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Two Nerds a Podcast. I'm Buddy the Bruiser.
And I'm Dynamite Jared.
Dynamite Jared, how's it been going this week, Cat? I haven't seen you since last episode.
Uh, what episode is this?
14.
Almost to 15, which is halfway to 30.
Halfway to 30.
Will we
Just
make it?
almost like you, man. Almost to 30.
No, halfway to 30. I'm 2 years from 30.
Damn.
At which point I will effectively give up everything.
Everything in
and
life.
Slit my throat with this X-Acto knife that I'm holding in my hand. This X-Acto knife.
X-Acto knife.
This X-Acto knife.
Damn.
Oh. So, what's been going on, buddy? You shot a music video last night?
Yeah, last night I was working on a music video for a band called Ghost Slime. They're a local band from the Akron area. It's kind of a punk, math rock fusion sort of band. I mean, ultimately it's just like a punk band. But yeah, they're called Ghost Slime. So this video had lots of ghosts and
Lots of slime.
lots of slime. Did you see the pictures?
I saw slime and ghosts
Slime and ghosts
in the pictures, yeah.
So basically, the concept of this video, realistically, we should have done this like a month ago, so it could have dropped like during Halloween time. But basically, the concept of the video is the band are all ghosts, and they show up to this house party show thing, and no one can see them. So they're just kind of outside smoking, and people walk right by them, and they're like making fun of people's costumes and stuff. There's one of the ghosts that's like in a closet, and people are throwing coats on him because they don't know that he's there. And then at one point,
What's he doing in the closet?
It's not really explained. I'm not the creative mind behind this video. It was
Right.
very much the band's concept, and I was
I just don't, because I've been in bands and I've played house shows, and I've never just been like, all right, guys, I'm going into the closet. I'll see you guys when we play.
He's a ghost, man. It's spooky in that closet. I don't know. Don't fucking judge him. But like, the main thing in the video was one of the ghosts does a keg stand, and to the ghost, he's just drinking the beer in the keg like everyone else, but no one else can see the ghost. They just see this beer like spewing. And then at the end, they can see the band when they're actually playing their instruments, and they throw slime all over them. It's basically the concept of the video.
Interesting. I guess. So, like, is their name inspired by Slimer?
I don't know.
You didn't even ask. That's the first thing I asked. Well, I thought when you texted me their name last night, and I was like, Slimer from Ghostbusters?
No, I didn't think that. I mean, they're dressed just like Charlie Brown ghosts.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
the sheet thing.
Yeah. So I don't know what the inspiration was. But yeah, they're all dead. They're all ghosts.
Yeah,
So-
definitely dead. Ghosts are dead.
Gunnar
And,
Hansen is actually in the band.
Who?
Gunnar Hansen.
Yeah, Gunnar Hansen is. So, yeah. And that's basically all we have this week. So
Yeah, so we'll see.
signing off.
So we'll see you guys next week.
Oh, man. Metallica came out with a new song. Have
They
you
did.
listened to it
I
yet?
have. Have you listened to it?
I listened to a little bit of it.
A little bit of it. They've released 3 songs so far. The first one obviously was Hardwired, which is named after the album, or vice versa. The second one was
Ja Rule on the.
has Ja Rule on the album cover.
Yeah.
They've released like 6 or 7 different versions of that picture, and they just keep getting uglier, like the faces. But anyway, so the second song was Moth into Flame, which I actually thought was a pretty good song. Lyrics were corny as ever, but I mean the music was jammy. What was the third one called? I can't remember.
Something that had to do with water.
Something that had to do with water.
Yeah, I believe it was called Mermaider
Hmm.
or something.
But well, what did you think about the song when you heard it?
It just sounded like the other 2 songs that they. I don't
It
know.
came out with a video, right? Because I think
Yeah.
I didn't see the video. I just saw someone posted the audio to it.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
video. And I don't know, it sounds like Metallica. It's just kind of like the other 2 songs to me.
It's called Atlas Rise.
Yeah. So
Um,
maybe not to do with water, but maybe Atlas Rise.
yeah,
I don't know what the fuck that means.
I didn't read too much into the lyrics. I just kind of had it on in the background. But yeah, we have some new Metallica music, and we also have the new American Football album, which ironically we talked about both of these when they dropped new songs in the same day, like a couple months ago or last month. So we've had some time. We've listened to the full album. I've listened to it about 2 or 3 times, I think. How many times have you?
I don't know. I've listened to it a bunch of
A
times. I
bunch.
listen to it at work a lot. So, like most nights when I'm cleaning showers or whatever, guys,
Whatever you got.
get me out of this fucking job, please.
I didn't know
Um,
you cleaned the showers. I thought you just worked up front. So you do it all. You're the
yeah,
you're the the caretaker of Flying
I
J.
do everything there. I fucking do cash register. I make food. I clean showers. I
How
clean
bad did
bathrooms.
how bad do the showers get?
The showers aren't as bad as the restrooms. The showers is like usually the worst thing you deal with is like pubes. And like
Do you experience a lot of pubes?
there's quite a few pubes. But it's the restrooms are like the shitty part. That's the one with like the where people will be clogging toilets or shitting all over the floor and stuff. Like occasionally people will shit on the floor in the showers, but
Like the real bathroom or like the truck or
just the
the truck?
public restroom.
Oh, okay.
You just walk in. So I mean, if you really think about it, it makes more sense because more people go in more often, and it's just more likely that a fucking asshole idiot will fucking go in there and just shit all over the place.
But anyway, we came here to talk about American football, not Flying J antics. Um, but nonetheless, we get off track quite often, so that tends to happen on our show.
So I mean, like, what I'm basically trying to say is that the new American football album is great music for cleaning pubes and cleaning shit.
They should print that on the album.
Yeah,
A quote from Dynamite Jared.
yeah, if you ever have to like clean shit or clean pubes, which I mean, like if you don't clean your toilet regularly, then you probably
have to do that.
You probably have to clean some pubes off of it at least. So like if you have to clean up on your toilet a little bit, I'd definitely recommend putting on the new American football album.
What is your favorite track if you had to pick one?
My instincts are the enemy.
Instincts are the enemy.
Yeah, it's track number 2.
That's a pretty good one. I'd
That
I'd have to say it's between that one and Give Me the Gun.
Give Me the Gun's really
yeah.
good. I think that might have been better had I not heard it so many times prior to the album.
Right. That's when the album was fully released. I'm going to be honest here. I was kind of underwhelmed by it just because we heard the best songs before it came out essentially.
In your opinion?
In my opinion, yeah.
I don't think so. I think that the best song is definitely My Instincts Are the Enemy, and then there's still like Home Is Where the Haunt Is. That song's great. Oh God, what's the one? Born to Lose.
Born to Lose,
is really
yeah.
Cool. But yeah, and then like near the end of the album, you get like they basically released like the entire end of the album except for like 2 songs.
Yeah.
So like the second half of the album is like a lot of the songs that we heard before, which was
So Lost for So Long.
So
It's like the
Lost for
5th
So
track.
Long, Give Me the Gun, and then what was the
I can't remember which one it was.
I can't remember the name either.
Have you noticed that the album has been getting quite a bit of flack online?
Has it?
Yeah, it's a lot of people are not enjoying it as much as they wanted to. Again, it's probably from overhype or just the fact that they've been gone for so long, or I don't know what it is,
they've
but
been so lost.
they've been so lost for so long. But yeah, a lot of people, at least from what I've seen, haven't particularly cared for it, and that's not our friends group. I'm talking like some of the music critics that
like actual critics or just like fans.
Like actual, well, not like
I don't see why a critic.
Not like published like YouTube critics that I listen to or read their articles. But no one from like the New York Times or any bullshit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like underground critics.
I think that like anybody that doesn't like this album has like had definitely went in with certain expectations, which I don't think a critic should ever do.
True.
Like a critic should go in with an open mind all the time, and then rate something for what it is, which I mean, don't do that, but that's what a critic should do. And so I don't know. It doesn't sound like old American football anymore, but at the same time, it's been fucking 16, 17 years,
Yeah.
and it's a really good album, and it's I don't know. It's just a Kinsella emo album that's really good, and maybe people will appreciate it a lot more after listening to it more in like coming years.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think because a lot of the people I know that love American football, they didn't listen to it when it was new. They listened to it several years later.
Yeah.
There's really no way to tell in a couple years if this album's still going to be relevant. I mean, it's not going to be anything close to the impact the first one made. But I mean, it potentially could still be another
I
chapter. I
mean,
mean,
did anyone think it was going to be as good or better than the first album?
I don't think anyone should have thought that.
I think it's unreasonable to expect that, especially after 16, 17 year hiatus to come back and write an album that would be as good or better than your last album, which is like an absolute like cult, like legendary cult album.
Yeah, one
So
of
like
the debatably one of the biggest emo bands of all time, even though releasing one and now a second album.
I I don't like I
Besides,
don't think it's debatably one of the they're definitely one of the biggest, definitely one of the most influential emo bands of all time, and that's definitely one of the most influential emo albums of all time. It's just been so long, and those guys have grown up. They were all in college when they wrote that, and now they're all adults, and they've been writing music this whole time. So obviously, their music styles and everything are gonna evolve and get a little different. And you know, it's just an emo album, and it's good. And it's probably my favorite album that I've listened to this year, but I haven't listened to much this year.
I
So
also have not listened to too much this year. Really, the only things this year that came out that grabbed my interest are stuff that you would have no interest in, so we could never talk about them, like the Panic album and the Blink album. But we can talk about Metallica when that comes out because I'm sure we'll both be checking that out.
that's not gonna get album of the
Well, no,
year
that's
in
not
my
going to get
opinion.
album of the year. I'm just
Uh,
saying something we can talk about.
the things that I've listened to that came out this year is what Pity Sex's new album, Into It Over Its new album, which that's a lot of people probably will be like Into It Over Its new album was better than American Football's, and that's just a matter of preference. I think I like the American Football album more. Um, Kendrick's mixtape that he put out, Logic's mixtape that he put out this year. I don't know. There's stuff that's come out this year, but none of it's really blown me away.
Yeah, I
And
feel the
so
same way. Nothing's really grabbed my attention too much this year.
last year there were a lot of albums that I was just
Yeah,
like,
the past couple years have been pretty good, but at least this year for me personally, it hasn't been anything too special.
yeah. So American Football's new album, if you haven't heard it yet, check it out. It's good. I
If you,
like it. I'm giving it a thumbs up.
I'm also giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't listened to their first album, I would highly recommend checking that out. It's just a self-titled out. Well, they're both self-titled, but the one from 1999 as well. If you haven't heard it yet.
So yeah, it's a free. No, it's not. It's Saturday. um,
We're not gonna lie. We're recording this a little bit in advance. I have a little bit of a busy weekend this weekend,
it's
so
free Taco Day.
so it's free taco day. If you're listening to this on Saturday, the Cleveland
Then you already.
Indians have won the World Series.
Don't. You jinxed us. You son of a bitch.
I have no superstitions, man. I mean, I thought
And that is why we will fail.
I thought going into this when I didn't watch the games, we would win. But then I didn't watch it last night and we lost. And the first games 3 and 4 or whatever, the ones that we won, I watched both of those. So my superstitions are completely out the window. I don't know what's going on.
I think that we've won every game that I've wore my Indians boxers
Are
during.
you gonna wear them tonight?
They're dirty, but
That's
slip
a
them
small
back on
price.
for one.
That's a small price to pay.
I might slip them back on for one more night. I almost killed myself with the
So-
X-Acto knife.
This is why you shouldn't be playing with stuff.
Oh,
So,
shit.
so Jared's gonna put the X-Acto knife back in its case, set it down, and we are back. Even though we didn't go anywhere. Well, Jared did. He picked up the knife. But yeah, the Indians have won the World Series. So,
City of Champions, baby.
did you see that we were actually featured on The Price is Right as like, cause you know how like at the end they give like a fucking vacation for the winners or whatever. The vacation they gave away like last week or something was to Cleveland, and
a
everyone.
winter vacation in Cleveland.
Well, it doesn't say what days. That's what they gave away on the show. They didn't say what time of year they had to take the vacation.
Look, man, I'm sorry. Like, I love Cleveland.
I'm not even gonna
I
lie-
never would like. I would never want to take a vacation to Cleveland.
What's even more alarming to me, more than people vacationing to Cleveland, because Cleveland, I mean, all right, it's got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's got some museums and shit. I will never ever
Has
understand.
Barrio.
It has Barrio
and Melt.
and Melt, but I will never, for the life of me, understand why people travel from so far to go to Geneva on the Lake.
Geneva on the Lake or Point Park.
Pieces of shit.
Those
That's
things
all.
suck. Maybe one day we'll be featured on The Price is Right.
Win a trip to.
Trip to Point Park in the Ashtabula Harbor, right next to fucking Walnut Beach.
So you can see a bunch of kids doing meth and playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Doing meth in the toxic waters of Lake Erie.
Damn.
Anyways, what else do we got this week?
Doctor Strange came out this weekend in theaters. I will probably not be checking it out.
Yeah,
to
I'm
be
good.
completely honest with you guys.
Sorry, Marvel fans.
But interestingly enough, Disney has actually racked in like a world record amount of money, like over like $5 billion this year. And Star Wars doesn't even come out for another 2 months, and they're expecting a lot of revenue with Moana with The Rock.
Is this episode 8 we're talking about, or Rogue One?
We're talking about Rogue One.
Okay.
Rogue yeah.
One hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say
But-
it seems really soon for episode 8.
Yeah, that comes out next year.
Okay.
But this year, just with like Finding Dory and Zootopia, and did Civil War come out this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, just with like those alone, they've completely demolished every other movie company in terms of revenue. And Star Wars doesn't come out until December, so they're gonna completely trounce them by another couple billion, probably.
Well, did episode 7 come out this year?
Came out last year.
Did it? Okay.
So like they beat their record from last year already.
Civil War. Didn't they drop another superhero movie too, though?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but like before that.
I don't think it was this year. The year before that, maybe.
Okay, whatever.
The year before that was Avengers 2, I think, right? Or something. I mean, I really don't pay attention to Marvel movies. Even though we're two nerds, I'm really not into
We need to
comic book
get
movies.
back into that because
Yeah.
that's what the people want to hear about.
Yeah.
And so
As a side note, shout out to Dark Side and the Light Side podcast for giving us a shout out on their upcoming episode.
did they actually?
I was told they are. So we'll see.
We're gonna have to listen and find out. We got our
we
eye
should-
on you, David Jackson.
We have our eyes firmly planted on. He would have been a good guest to have on in October to talk about the expo. But nonetheless, maybe next year. We got to get some guests on the show. Who are you thinking about hitting up besides Dan? I'm thinking we should try to get Pat Kennedy on the podcast pretty soon.
I was gonna bring that up to you that we should definitely bring Pat Kennedy onto the podcast.
Bring Pat Kennedy into the mix.
That'll get us.
He's back at the pizza shop.
That'll
for
get
the
us a couple
foreseeable-
thousand views.
Yeah.
We just got to make sure not to use any of Lightyear's music on it, or else we'll get a fucking injunction filed on us.
I don't know. They let us use their music in my movie, so who knows? They might come on here and let us play a song or premiere something or whatever.
Have you been in contact with him?
No, I haven't talked to him in a couple months,
Yeah.
honestly. We can get Ghost Slime on the podcast.
Uh, I feel like I had an idea of someone to bring on yesterday, and I've completely forgotten.
Eddie Gankos posted on Facebook a couple weeks ago how he was looking for people who review music or do podcasts or whatever, and I hit him up with a comment. I was like, "Yo, I mean, we do that every week," and then he never got back to me. So
He did
classic.
comment on the
He
video
did comment on the video
a
that he was
couple weeks ago.
listening.
I'm
So
listening, cat.
what a guy.
And then he earned a free pass that week. Hopefully, he turned the podcast off right after that
Yeah.
because told him.
Speaking of which, we did get 23, I believe, new subscribers to the channel in the past couple weeks, so they're all going to be entered for a chance to win. Unlucky. We'll figure out some way to pick a name out of those, a random name. Either put names in a hat or do something cool with it. And yeah, so we'll be picking a winner sometime soon.
Yeah, man, this is a really bad episode. And so, let's see here. It's November 2nd. So
It's November 2nd.
we're recording this on November 2nd.
As a side note, this is the last podcast that we're putting out before this fucking election. So regardless of your views, just go out and vote, because don't bitch if you don't vote, I guess.
I'm probably not going to vote.
Why aren't you gonna? Are you out of your mind?
I don't, because I'll probably sleep too long. But yeah, go out and vote, I guess. And I'm not gonna say, regardless of your views, I'm gonna go ahead and say, don't vote for Donald Trump. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you do vote for Donald Trump, then like fuck you. Basically, you're an idiot.
Please don't set our country back like 50 years. Please.
So
So next podcast might be interesting. If
we might be shut down.
yeah, actually.
So yeah, I just got done with the 31 Days of Horror.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Go ahead with what you were saying.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, 31 Days of Horror. I just finished that up. I still have to go back and total up my body count. But oh god, what movie did I finish on? The Final Terror, and that was pretty fucking bad.
I was gonna ask you, out of the 31 you've watched this year, what was the best and what was the worst?
Interesting question. I might have to I basically like erased all of it from my mind already at this point. So let me reference my blog,
Reference the blog.
rewinderdivehs.blogspot.com.
I know possible contenders for the worst ones that I've watched with you is probably Crystal Force. There was one.
Crystal Force was probably the worst.
There was another. I forget what it was called. It was just
The
like
Last Slumber Party.
no, that was fucking great. That was fucking great. It's the one with like the nuns or something. We just watched it like last week.
Oh, The Night Nurse?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably one of the worst as well. Let's see here. I watched The House on Sorority Row. That was pretty fucking good.
I wanted to watch that for a couple years, but I haven't gotten around to it.
It was good. Horror Hotel was all right. Let's see here. Mr. Frost was pretty good. Let's see here. Ooh, Dracula versus Frankenstein was probably the worst that I watched.
You watched the one where it's too dark to see anything?
Where it's too dark to see at the end, and Dracula and Frankenstein actually don't fight each other at all in it. Someone else, I think the Wolfman kills Dracula and Frankenstein. They're kind of both playing for the same team. Let's see here. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark was pretty good. Trilogy of Terror was all right. The Tempter was pretty good. Crystal Force was fucking terrible. Blood Rage was really cool. Yeah, so the best one, did I say the best one already?
No, you haven't.
All right, so I mean the best one, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari was probably the best.
Was this the first time you saw it?
Yeah. And so that was probably the best movie I watched. My favorite was probably like Blood Rage or something.
Yeah. Yeah, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, one of my favorite silent films. The other two probably being Nosferatu, obviously, because I talk about it all the fucking time. And there's also this other one called Haxan, which is about like devil worshipping and witches and shit, which is pretty good.
Did the nerd review that one?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I think Caligari's better than Nosferatu.
Yeah, I mean it's all opinion. It's up
Yeah,
to who you ask. The Phantom of the Opera, the black and white one, is surprisingly very very good. Um, it's
I
pretty
have that on tape
it's pretty long from what I recall. Uh,
for a silent movie.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like 2.5 hours. Um,
Ooh, really?
I
I saw like an hour and a half, which I was like, man, that's kind of long for a silent movie.
maybe I might be thinking of the first color version, which I honestly don't recommend the first color version of it from the 40s. Um, but let me check the time for the original. Well, not the original Phantom.
Yeah. So,
But
anyways, I watched a lot of movies, and quite frankly, I don't want to watch movies ever again in my life.
you're right. It's an hour and 33 minutes, but
Yeah.
still, that's long for a silent film.
Yeah, I have it on tape, and I've checked it like a couple times because there are days when I just have a lot going on, and so like I need to pick a short movie,
Ideally,
and
70
like
minutes or
yeah,
80.
and so like I always look at Phantom of the Opera because like, that's an old silent movie. They're usually kind of short, and it always ends up being like a standard movie length, an hour and a half. And so I just and with those an hour and 33, that's not an hour and a half. You can usually like, all right, the last 3 minutes will be like the credits or something, and those the credits are the end.
But yeah,
So
because
you
they
don't
do the
really,
credits at the beginning.
yeah. So it's like,
And plus, in those, a lot of the length is due to the title cards.
yeah,
So depending on like what version you're watching, it could be even longer or shorter than an hour and a half. But yeah, Jared appears to be very sleepy.
yeah. That's why this episode sucks. Did you say anything to Stephanie? Does she still
No,
listen?
I haven't.
I don't think she listens
I
to us
haven't heard from
anymore.
Stephanie. If you're out there,
Let
and
us know.
let us know.
And yeah, we only got 25 views on our last episode.
So far, but it's besides the point.
Listen.
We do have new thumbnails for our episodes. I'm trying to make them more visually stimulating. What is that face?
Oh God. So yeah, it's Hell in a Cell was on Sunday.
Yeah, it was
Pretty spooky. I
pretty
was having my
spooky.
Halloween party at the same time, and the World Series was on at the same time. I only watched the last match.
What did you think of it?
It was
This
okay.
was the first women's Hell in a Cell match. It was also the first women match to headline a pay-per-view. Um, the
On the
interest
main roster.
on the main roster, yeah. The entrances were cool. Um, there was like a botch table thing, but other than that, I mean, everything was standard. Was
Yeah,
fine.
it was all right. Um, they worked hard, and it was a good match, good main event. My one friend was like, "Oh, that would have been match of the year if it wasn't for the finish," and I don't even think it was close to that. I think
No, it was definitely not
Nakamura
match of the year.
Zayn is still probably number one on my match of the year. And so,
How do you feel about the finish?
Charlotte wins. It was puzzling to me at first, but I don't know. They're just trying to keep Charlotte's main event winning streak alive, I guess. And so it'll be a big deal when someone beats her in a main event if you keep building it like that. So whatever.
Yeah, I heard they're really shotgunning the rivalry between her and Bailey, and that's why she won this match. They want to get that going as soon as possible. I'm assuming for a Survivor Series thing. Um, but yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's Sasha is probably going to sit out again, hopefully due to a kayfabe injury this time. But it's kind of stupid that they already had her do well, she was actually hurt before,
hmm
but they kind of did it like an injury angle, so she was out for like a month. And now they're doing another injury angle with her. I'm assuming. I didn't watch Raw. Did you?
I saw like the little. I never watch it when it's on TV, but I watched like the little highlights they put on YouTube, and that was one of the things I didn't watch because I wasn't really too concerned about it. I mainly watched Goldberg Paul Heyman promo
Yeah,
thing.
which I don't know what happened, but um, I'm I'm just gonna assume that they're gonna do another injury angle because Sasha supposedly, in theory, supposedly supposed to get another rematch because she just lost the title, but I don't see how you keep this feud going unless you have Charlotte beat her at Survivor Series again. It just doesn't. It just seems like it's time to let this feud rest for a while and then come back. And then having Charlotte feud with Bayley is a good way to extend Charlotte's pay-per-view winning streak because I think it's too early for Bayley to become champion. And so you get that streak going a little bit longer and maybe have her lose at WrestleMania.
I mean, that would be ideal, probably. I mean, that would make it big, kind of what I think they should do with Brock Lesnar. But yeah,
And I don't know. I say, man, I don't want to put Sasha out of work, but it would probably be nice to like. Uh, I'd say too many injury angles, man. I don't
yeah,
know. Like it's too many and too close together. I would like to see her like take some time off and actually be gone for a little bit so that it's like meaningful when she comes back. Like people actually miss her. I feel like the times that she's been gone, she hasn't even been here long enough for people to really react when she returns. And she never really leaves long enough for people to react. She's gone for like a month
right. And
and
then
then
she's
she
back
comes
for a
back
couple weeks, and then
and
she's
then she's
gone again.
gone.
Yeah,
So I don't know what they're doing with her. Maybe not do another injury angle, but then how do you get out of the rematch? Maybe just do a thing on Raw and have Charlotte like kind of cheat to like do it, and then Sasha. You know what? This is how you do it: is that you freaking have the match on Raw and have another woman, Nia Jax, who
okay,
needs like an actual opponent
right,
because she's just been doing squash matches. Have Nia Jax come out and take out Sasha, cost Sasha the match, and then Sasha can focus her attention on a rivalry with Nia Jax while Charlotte moves on to Bayley, and then Nia Jax and Sasha can feud for a couple months, and then Nia Jax is a really good person to kind of put Sasha out of action at some point because of her size
right.
and just things that she does to her can look devastating. And so have like a few month rivalry, and then once we start getting closer to WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or whatever, kind of have her couple too many body splashes onto Sasha.
Right.
Sasha's injured, comes back at WrestleMania to challenge Charlotte and wins the title. Or maybe Bayley wins the title at WrestleMania. I don't know, but Charlotte should probably hold that belt till WrestleMania.
Yeah, that would make sense. I feel the same with AJ. He should hold it until at least WrestleMania and build up a big, solid feud. Because I'm not really into the Dean Ambrose James Ellsworth thing. I mean, it's entertaining, but I don't really
Is that
take.
still going
It's still
on?
going on. I don't really take it
So
seriously.
what do you think? Cena versus AJ at Mania?
I don't know. Possibly. I mean, it'd be a good match, no doubt about it. But
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't even
know.
know if Cena would win.
I don't know either. I mean, it doesn't matter. The point is to just have like a big money match
Yeah.
at Mania. But that's kind of, I don't know. I
I,
don't know,
I
man.
yeah. I would rather personally. I would rather AJ have a feud with someone else other than Cena because I'd like to see, and this is just my speculation, I would like to see Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, possibly a retirement match.
That works for me too, but I just don't know who on the SmackDown roster besides Dean Ambrose is really
Which
ready.
they've done before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is really ready to step up and face AJ for the world title.
I don't know. We might get a couple surprise returns at the Royal Rumble. Um, but maybe that could potentially. There's been ever going Kurt Angle rumors, but it's all hearsay. There's also a rumor that Shawn Michaels is returning at Royal Rumble, not for the Royal Rumble match, but he's gonna verse AJ Styles at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I saw a picture of like them facing
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
Like AJ tweeted it.
yeah. It's a fake picture,
Yeah,
but
but AJ tweeted about it and said, "Interesting picture." Thanks, AJ. um, I don't know. We saw Shawn at WrestleMania this past year. He looked good.
he did.
It's like
Unlike Stone Cold this year, which is no disrespect, but Shawn was actually looking pretty good, and
it seems like he always does though. It's
yeah,
like he's always ready to like do it
actually
again.
make a full
And
comeback. Yeah,
he never like declined like any. He was always just good.
yeah.
Like and then like he retired and like came back like some say better than he was before. And
I don't know, better than he was before, but I'd
I
say
think
on par. I would definitely say when he came back, like his 90s thing, when he came back in like the 2000s, that was better than.
that's what I'm saying. He
Oh,
retired in the 90s
I thought you
and then
meant.
he came back in like the
Yes, I would
2000s
agree
and
with
he
that.
was like better than he was in the
I thought you
90s.
were talking about when he retired the second time and he's come back now for his cameos, is what I thought you meant.
No,
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 no.
no,
I'm
when he.
talking about strictly in ring.
No, when he came back in the 2000s, I would say that was better.
And I mean, he was probably a little bit less athletic because I don't think he was doing moonsaults and stuff anymore. Because he used to do like moonsaults and shit, if I remember correctly. John, not John Cena. How many moonsaults have you seen John Cena do? He does that like turnaround crossbody thing every
Yeah.
now and then. I think he's trying to do a moonsault maybe, like off the second rope. It just looks silly. But Shawn Michaels, Shawn Michaels, freaking used to do some moonsaults and everything. I don't think he really did that in the 2000s, but I think that his ring psychology and everything was just better than ever, and he was putting on the best matches of his career
Yeah.
at the time. And so, I don't know. And everyone says that, you know, his match against Undertaker at WrestleMania, be it the first or the second one, it could go either way. That people are
They're gung ho about.
constantly,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that think that those are the greatest matches of all time, which in my mind undoubtedly puts them as the greatest matches in Shawn Michaels' career.
Yeah.
So there you go. He had his best matches at that time, and I mean some of his best matches are still from the '90s. Iron Man match with Bret,
Hmm.
and oh God, what else did he do? Ladder match with Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental title. Stuff like that will always be like some of the best matches ever. But
I mean, and he'll always be remembered for his part in the Montreal Screwjob match. But I mean, you wouldn't really qualify that as
best
what.
match ever.
No, no, you wouldn't say it was his best match ever, but it's what he'll be known for undoubtedly as well.
Yeah. So I don't know how we got onto this
I don't.
Shawn Michaels versus AJ, but I don't know. Man, I really don't know.
I believe going into Survivor Series, the Raw tag team is, well, the Raw roster is Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Roman, and Braun Strowman. So perhaps next week we might see a tag match between Jericho and Strowman Reigns, just for fun. Maybe
Interesting.
they've listened to the podcast.
Strowman Reigns. Is Braun Strowman a babyface?
No. I don't think. I mean, he just kind of squashes people. He
Yeah.
won. He won like they did like a Rumble match to determine who was going to be the last person out of the four on that team, and Strowman beat everyone. So
it's interesting to me is that I forgot that the Survivor Series, the winner gets to take someone from the other roster.
Is that true?
Yeah, you haven't heard that stipulation?
No.
Whoever wins the Survivor Series, the Raw SmackDown Survivor Series match, that show gets a pick. I don't know if it's off of their team,
Or
off of
just
the
off their
opposing
show?
team, or off the show, but they get a roster pick and they take someone. I don't know if they're champions or barred because it wouldn't make any sense to just be like, okay, like we beat you, now we're gonna take. It would make sense to just be like, all right, we're gonna take your Universal Champion.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the SmackDown team, if I remember correctly, is AJ, Ambrose, Baron Corbin, and someone else on SmackDown. I can't remember who the last one is off the top. Bray Wyatt is the last one.
It's
So, I mean, just looking at the two rosters, it looks like Raw's going to kick their ass. But
yeah, but SmackDown could really use the extra roster guy.
yeah, for sure.
To I mean, to get someone to feud with
AJ?
AJ. You said is Rollins on the Raw team?
No,
No.
it's just those four.
So
At
it's
least at this point, it's
okay.
those four.
All right. Well, I mean, that'll be interesting. I could see SmackDown possibly picking up Seth Rollins if they win. If they just get to take someone from the Raw roster
Yeah,
as opposed to a team.
especially if it's someone who isn't the if you're not allowed to take a champion.
Yeah, so like I could see them taking Seth Rollins, and since Seth Rollins is like kind of a new babyface deal, Seth Rollins versus AJ maybe for
Yeah,
the heavyweight title at WrestleMania.
I could see it. Yeah. Trying to think what else happened. Oh, also, Dolph Ziggler has an open challenge to someone from Raw, to challenge him at Survivor Series for the Intercontinental title. So that might actually switch brands. But we'll see if he wins or loses.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what else to
More
say.
belts on Raw. It'd
Yeah.
be kind of weird, but whatever.
And then obviously there's Lesnar versus Goldberg. Is their main selling point to the
Yeah.
pay-per-view.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, do you have anything else this week?
No,
This is a really
no.
shitty episode.
You keep saying that. It's not that bad. It's
You don't
not.
think so?
It's not one of the worst. I mean, it's not episode 9 or anything or any of. It's not any of. I think the problem was Cocktober was such a success that now.
This is just like a come down period. This is a filler episode. This is a breather for.
Speaking of which, we still need to come up with some sort of punishment for you for losing.
5-0 and man,
I was trying to think of like what the worst thing I could possibly do to you would be without being like too mean, and like the only thing I can think of
that severely limits you. Like,
the only thing I can think of is for those of you that know Jared, he watches a lot of shitty movies, but he's usually on his phone. He's usually wandering around talking in the kitchen to someone. He's never sitting with his eyes glued on that TV. He's asleep on the phone. The only thing I could think of is either make Jared watch Spine or a really other terrible movie with no phones, no bathroom breaks, and I'm going to film it. So get his genuine reaction to this. Or possibly do the same thing with one of Shaq's albums or Macho Man's albums or something. No distractions, just listen to the whole thing, front to back.
The Shaq Macho Man album would probably be really great for me, honestly. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and like help you out and tell you that that option would be more entertaining to me than watching a shitty movie without my phone.
We'll think of something. Maybe people on Twitter will be able to give us a good punishment for Jared. I'll have to tweet something out at some point.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, that's really all.
Fuck you, Twitter.
That's really all we have for this week. We'll be drawing the winner of the movie giveaway somewhat soon. If you haven't yet, check out our episodes.
He's just gonna pick out the coolest name.
No, I was thinking like either put them all in a hat or like there's some like wheels on the internet where you just type the things and then the wheel will spin and it'll land on one randomly. but we'll film it too, so it won't be rigged or anything. So it'll be genuine. But check out Lost on VHS if you haven't watched it yet. We
Got more coming for that
got more
soon.
coming. We might have one or two in November. We haven't really talked about it yet, but we're for sure having a Christmas episode. We've got it all picked
We
out.
gotta shoot a new intro.
Yeah, and it'll probably be a little more elaborate than the ones we've done because we'll have more time to work on it instead of making them the night before they're supposed to go out. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, subscribe to Buddy's YouTube channel. I'd like to think that if he ever starts making profits, that he'd split them with me on these videos. And yeah, subscribe to Buddy's YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at Dynamite Jared, at Buddy Candela, at 2nerds316. And
Yeah, that's
friend
about.
request us on Facebook,
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. Just like
I don't whatever you
social
want to do.
media things.
Add us on Google Plus. Follow us on there. Find us on Path if Path still exists.
If Vine is dead, so
Vine
don't
is dead.
Don't bother looking for us on Vine. And
Instagram, I'm just Buddy Candela and Jared is Thrash Kid.
yeah, at Thrash Kid at Instagram. You can check out. I posted on Instagram all the movies I watched this month, and it's really easy to find like the movies that I watched for the past few years too. That's because I don't post much stuff in between.
No, Jared's not very active on Instagram.
Yeah, or Snapchat.
No.
But
you have an occasional humorous snap, but it's very sporadic.
yeah. I don't know, but yeah, guys. So thanks for listening again, and thanks to the people that are subscribing. And make sure you tell your friends about the podcast. Make sure you tell your friends about Rewind or Die. Not Rewind or yeah, well, tell them about Rewind or Die, and tell them also about Lost on VHS, and 15 phenomenal facts,
Like,
and
whatever else
all
fucking
that
videos
shit.
I
You know
want
what?
to do.
Let's just plugging all the things like it's all plugged. Archive.org.
Check out archive.org.
Just check it out. Don't even download our stuff on there. Just check out archive.org. And that's all for us this week. This is Dynamite Jarrett signing off. Thanks.
And this is Buddy the Bruiser signing off, and we will see you guys next week.